Go down. Go down. Go down.
It's day number 3 of hunting. Day 3 of the season, September 3rd today. And I'm going to be doing exactly what I did yesterday morning, actually. The wind is the exact same intensity and direction. It's chilly this morning like it was yesterday morning, maybe a little bit colder today. But I'm going to be going out and sitting over that hayfield and glassing. Should have worked out yesterday. I just screwed up the stalk. I should have been patient and sat back and waited for him to stand up. He would be dead right now. A lot of things I could have done a little bit better, and it would have been over yesterday. So goal today is trying to make those mistakes. There were several good bucks in that field, several shooters. So all I really got to do is not screw up on one of them, and there we go.
I have just barely enough light for the spotting scope. As you can see, wasn't seeing many deer while I found the culprit. One cow got loose and is walking all over this portion of the field. And from what we've seen, they do not like being by cows. Hopefully there's some deer somewhere else. Maybe back towards bedding that I can find. Otherwise, it's going to be a pretty uneventful set. Get out of this field pretty quick, it seems. Got enough light to really focus on that deer. Whatever it is, it's pretty keen on getting out of the field. It's definitely a deer, but no idea if it's a buck or a doe. I just need to set up a little more. I really hope that's just a bachelor group right there. These deer are awfully wandering. They just are pushing hard out of that field. I really just need them there for like 5 minutes longer. Unless it's moving at me. Maybe it's a Yodi and that's why I'm nervous. There's a buck runner in front of me. What the hell? This buck just came sprinting and sprinted right up to me. Let's see if I can't watch him right now. So I'm pretty sure that random cow in the field ruined the sit this morning. Couldn't really get anything to be anywhere near the field, and everything that was in the field hustled out of it really quickly before I even had camera light. I glassed a whole bunch of does, only one buck, and that one buck was the one that ran past me. And yeah, just didn't get eyes on a single buck, really, which is super odd. Has not happened yet. So I don't know if this is going to be a relocate thing or what, but it's hard to imagine one cow did all that damage, but it sure definitely seems that way. I'm really debating if I need to give up this spot or not. They're just so consistent on these fields in the morning. The first time I haven't seen them in it, and yesterday it was absolutely loaded. So it's pretty odd. Coming up seeing the video. That's what he essentially stopped behind. I don't really know where gone after that. It seemed like he was thoroughly disappeared. He could have gone through this trench right here. Came out that way maybe without me seeing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to check for tracks down here. And hop up there. Glass right there. I'll be directly downwind of him. And if I can't see him with glass, I'll just stalk up to it really slow. And stay close for a while. And give it some time. The trail here in the valley. So I was going to look for tracks, and you can tell it's going that direction. Not coming this way because of the way the grass is all laid in that direction. Despite the wind being blown this way. So this is not him. Let's keep looking here first. This is an older tree. Not really seeing anything. Must have worked off. I was just waiting for hours for a deer that wasn't there.
The first property that we hunted on, we decided to come all the way to the back, hoping that the cattle hasn't ruined it back here. John's a little deeper than me. He's hunting from the ground. I'm about 8 feet up. As I was getting up my tree, I was on my first stick. I saw a doe 30 yards away. I just froze and she never saw me. I couldn't believe it. Big doe. She had a hump on her nose and everything. But nothing else with her, so I'm just hoping for the best here. Maybe got swamps on both sides. They're dry swamps, but they do bed in them. Obviously, she was in one of them. So, hopefully a buck will come by. Alright, well, the morning's half over. Right out here is where that buck was. Or, I'm sorry, that doe. Just right in there. I cannot believe it didn't see me. And then she walked that way. I believe that's more bedding in there. But we're kind of on this strip that comes along here. The trees, a little more swamp right there. I heard some, actually I heard some blowing down that way between me and John, but we could both barely hear it. I believe it smelled me, so somebody screwed that.
I went way back to the end of the swamp where it ends, and something was walking in there about 7:38, somewhere in there. For a good 10 minutes, it was making a racket, but the sun was right in my eyes. I couldn't see anywhere over there. And somewhere back in there, I heard something blow about 7, probably, something like that.
Okay.
But I don't know what. Unless I got my ground sync, so I walked way around. The wind's going this way. It couldn't have smelled either one of us.
Right.
So I don't know what. It might have been blowing out a coyote too. Who knows?
That's a possibility, but I don't know. I think it sent one scented me. I think I was set up over here. I saw that doe right away in the morning. I was just starting to get up the tree. 30 yards away. I'm surprised she didn't see me. But I didn't see anything after that, and then I heard the blowing down here. I thought it was more that way. John thought it was more that way, but the wind is blowing too. That can be deceptive. So either way, saw one doe. Nothing with horns yet.
We're gonna hit this spot where I shot at that buck yesterday. I said, well, I grazed him. We're gonna all three tackle this area. When I say all three, it's me and Ryan and Jacob. Where Jacob went, I don't know. I think he's got in mind a different way of entering this place, but I'm going to the same willow bush that I hunted yesterday evening. Ryan's gonna get into a spot he hunted the other day, try to catch deer coming from that way. And then Jacob basically picked a spot that looks similar to what I'm hunting, kind of farther to, I don't know which direction that is, but farther away from me. And he thinks he might be able to find some deer coming out of bed in there. So we're gonna kind of be around a circle of where these deer like to be, and hopefully one of us comes up with a field tag this evening. Any thoughts?
Sure. Yeah, I think just at least where I'm going to be sitting, I'll have the vantage point, so I should be able to see any movement. Maybe with you guys on the ground, won't be able to see.
Yeah.
So at least if anything, we'll be able to kind of get an idea of how they're moving around. You know.
I won't have cell service, so you won't be able to communicate with me. Plus, that's illegal, I think, and we wouldn't do that anyway. But we'll just have to rely on his intel after we get done. That a big monster walked right behind me, and I didn't see it. All right, I'm settled in. Back where I was hunting yesterday. Let me show you my setup here. First of all, brought me a little seat this time. Second thing is I got cameras down here with me running to film outside the little makeshift blind here. First thing here is my bow cam. It's got a battery right here. So I can turn that on and let it run the entire time. Got this selfie stick right here. It's got a ground spike in it, and it's extended to the max. And I got electrical tape holding it to different willows to kind of stiffen it up a little bit. And then another selfie stick with the battery mounted here, right around the willow, kind of keep it stiff. And that stick there will extend another 4 feet up. I got a camera facing that way and one facing this way. And I'll start the cameras up when there's like 3 hours remaining. And they'll run, I think, for like 5 hours. But I'll just let them run the entire time. Anything that walks out, that should capture. Plus, I got my camera on my bow. So, hopefully I do a better job of getting video this time, and hopefully I do a better job of shooting. I guess it was a bad idea to come in here after all. I was really struggling with the decision, but I figured with the number of deer we've seen here and the bucks that we saw in here that it was worth a shot. The wind's been favorable all day where they're bedding coming out of it, and I don't know if being in here last night had anything to do with it, but deer sure didn't come this way tonight, if they're even in here at all. If they're in here, they must have went that way, but anyway, try again tomorrow and see what happens. That's all you can do.
I don't even think I can shoot it here in this grass, it's so high. I think like just his neck would be showing out. I wouldn't be able to really even see his back, so let's see if there's anything in this bed. bedding just for scouting purposes. Try to move it. Maybe for them over there. I'll stay ready in case they have to be in a lower grass area. Since it's just so hard to walk. So I just backed out of that spot. I walked throughout a lot of the bedding, and the wind is just kind of the opposite of what you want for this spot, and you don't realize it looking at the map because Onyx is super outdated imagery. Spartan Forge shows it, but there's a lot of diversity to it, so it's hard to actually pick out the individual patches and what's going on. And I hadn't encountered this kind of grass before that was in there, but I'll show you a picture of it. It's just, I mean, it literally held my bow up. Stuff was like right to the bottom of my binos, so I wouldn't even be able to see a deer's back really. And with this being a south wind, I looped around to access on the north side. Well, the entire north half of this bedding is that impenetrable, really high stuff, and so I just made so much racket going through there. I'm sure everything south of me heard it too.
Just heading to my location here. I gotta take a tree. I sat here before. I'm just gonna try to just relocate and just slightly get a little bit closer to a watering hole. But I have to go through all these sunflowers. Last time I kicked up a small buck. I was gonna try to be quiet and kind of stalk my way into this, and also take a look at the trees and see if I can plan out which one I want as I'm walking somewhere. I relocated from a spot that I already sat one time this year, just 20 yards at best, but it's a little bit closer to the drinking hole over here. But this little pond has got reeds really tight to it, so you can never see if anything's in it. I think I'm in a position now, I can't shoot to it, but at least I'll be able to see and see what I've been hearing that's been kind of sloshing around in it. If that's the case, then I might have to set up on the ground or something next to it. But for now, it's looking good. The tree I'm in is a little sketchy, but I got everything safe and locked in right now, so it should be good. I don't feel super concealed, but I feel like I might be closer to the right spot. But you know, we'll see how it goes. Wind seems to be switching a little bit from south. It's going, I'd say, more southwest now at this point. So we'll see what that does, but it should be blowing my wind into a fairly safe spot. So.
Oh, they don't like me. They're in here heavy. What those cattle could do if they knew their strength.
So we're driving out to scout, and we see that mule deer we saw yesterday, one of the two, dead on the side of the road, and a van just smashed to pieces. And the guy's in the van, he's been there since 4 in the morning. Because we're so remote, he can't get any help. We just talked to him. He said both of those mule deer that we saw were out here, and one of them ran in front of him and he hit it.
That other antler's laying around here somewhere.
Sure is. Wow, is that thing big, eh?
Yeah.
The guy's in the van.
Yeah.
And he says that he rented the van from Enterprise. And he said they can't get him a replacement van for 2 days, and he's got to stay there for 2 days.
Sit on the side of the road?
Yeah, and he says that I got important stuff in the van. I can't go. He's got like this long white hair.
He must have been sleeping when I went by.
Well, he's laying down in there because you can't see him.
Yeah, you know what's funny? The Enterprise model will pick you up.
Yeah, in 2 days.
They're not picking them up.
Right. He said the fastest they can get someone there is
They
2
should
days.
at least send a tow truck to get it into town.
Dude, he's gonna die in that van.
Yeah,
it's like
gonna be
90 degrees.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot.
Yeah. We should go see if he needs some water. or
Yeah,
something.
we didn't even think about it. We should give him a bottle of water.
Yeah,
We got ice water.
Considerate of you.
John had to go to back home. Alright, I made it out to the far point. There's corn off to the west. Some thicket of trees in front of me. Probably 200 yards. I'm hoping they're going to come out of the thicket and come onto this point. Or go to the corn. There's high grass all the way around me. And right now that's what they're bedding in. Here, I'll show you. There's the, that's right in there, that's the thicket. There's some pines to the left there, but there's high grass all the way around. And the corn is way out there. Look at there. Had a change of plans. I'm just not liking this spot, so I'm going to get down and do a slow walk back in glass. There's some swamps over here. I think there's something in there. John heard something in there this morning. So yeah, I just don't like this spot. Hopefully I can glass something on the way back. Go from there. I went to that far point setup, but I just didn't feel good sitting there. Didn't like it. So I got down and glassed. Should see that doe I saw. I actually saw another doe, but didn't get that one on film. It was too quick. But that's a wrap for day 3.
Waiting to head out hunting. About another hour yet. Eric went off exploring in there, and I decided to make us some chili. Some jalapeno spam and some Angus chili, and got the cooker going here. You got to get it out of the wind. This place is so windy, it just keeps blowing the flame out. Eating like kings. Spam and chili. So yesterday, that's the tree I sat in. That buck came out over there, went into these trees here, and there's a pond or like small lake on the other side of there, and this is a funnel, and it gets narrower and narrower and narrower, and Eric was at the tip of those trees there, and the buck went into here and never came out. There's low grass all the way around that, so he stayed in there. That's what we think. And Eric right now is sneaking around through the sand hills, and he's going to get into there. And I'm going to try and get right to where that buck kind of disappeared in one of these trees out here. I think he went to that little island, but I'm going to go into here, and if there's a heavy trail to there, I'm going to sit there. If not, I'll ease up to there. I'll just find where he came in there and try to find a spot to set up. But I'm waiting until Eric is in his tree so that if I jump something out of there, he's in the funnel. So we saw 2 more mule deer coming in here, does hopping through the hills that spotted us. When I came out yesterday, right up on this tip, there's a mule deer buck, and Eric walked right past it and saw it. Then I came out here and saw it, sitting there skylighted looking at us. It was coming out of the hills, coming down here to feed, I think. And there's Eric now, sliding into his tree. So I want to put the camera down and get my bow ready in case he jumps something.
All right, I'm back in my tree that I was in yesterday, really close to where Dan spotted the buck. Come in, he spotted that buck coming in right up this little timber thing or into this patch of trees back here. Dan's actually gonna go set up in there tonight, but I got set up prior to him getting in so that in case he kicks anything off of there, he should run straight ahead of me, right in front of me. So I'm all set and I'm ready in position. Dan is way out here, and it looks like he's starting to make his way in. So it's probably a little windier than it was yesterday even. It's a little after 4 o'clock and we had deer movement yesterday at about 6 already. So just hoping we can get it done. We know this buck is in the area still. But yeah, here we go.
I got inside of the island. I just barely entered. It's all cattails behind me. And got into this little bit of timber of willows that I was looking at. And it's kind of amazing. It's all cattails inside of the willows. But look at this. They're all pounded to the ground, bedded in. And this is where that buck went. He went into here someplace. This is amazing. I mean, look at all these cattails are knocked flat. And you can see where they're laying in here constantly. And it's nice and cool in here, so I can see them coming in here on a hot day. Now, as of right now, I haven't crashed anything out of here. So I don't know what to make of it. I'm gonna try and ease myself up to the tip here and find the main access trail coming from where that buck came from and set up. And if he does that again, he should die. So we'll see. Try to get through here, walk every time the wind gusts. There's gotta be deer around me. I'm going nose to wind, so there's one scent trail and as quiet as possible. This is where I've seen them come into here. There's tracks in here everywhere. There's a heavy trail there.
So it looks like Dan actually kicked the doe out of that bedding area that he pushed into. Just caught a glimpse of it sneaking out the backside. It's like right up against the edge of the pond right now. If that buck comes out there, I'm not gonna have a shot. It's way too far of a distance.
All right, I think I found a tree. This little one right here. If I can get a stand right up there, I got a shot into that hole that I can see is pounded down there from that tip going into here and then on. And this is the main axis that I just walked up. And I didn't walk where the deer trail comes through in that little opening. I could hit that and this, and my wind's blowing that way, which would be perfect. So if that buck does what he did yesterday, I think he dies. I was a little leery about whether he came in here. Looking at this, I think he did, for sure. I'm out there to see if I can make this tree work. I think something right here should work. You know, I can reach the stand, so it's about 7.5, 8 feet high. I'd say 8 feet high to the platform. There's one trail there, one trail there, one trail right here, and a big opening over there that they're hanging out in. I think the trail that buck came in is going to be one of these two right here, and they're point blank. If he came in, I'd shoot him for sure. This tree is pretty wonky. I mean, it's really crooked shaped, and but I got to stand in here because it's kind of in the only spot I can really hit everything from without walking all over the place. But there's a really heavy trail that comes in right here, goes around like that. And there's another one that comes in right here at point blank. I mean, that's 4 yards from the base of my tree, and that is I'd say maybe 8, 9 yards, maybe. And then there's a real heavy trail coming in from over here, and I can see it's all knocked down over there. And then there's a trail coming through here. I got a shot into there. That's probably 22 or 23 yards. And it comes straight at me, but if the deer hangs in there a little bit, that's all matted down, I got a good broadside. If he comes at me, I might have some difficulty. I did throw a dead limb across there, so maybe he'll hold up right there and turn at 10 yards. But this is just worn to the dirt in here. I don't know if you can see through this willow tree, but that tree that's out there just over here is where I saw that buck come up. get up and come this way and come in. And then there's these two main trails. It's probably one of those. But he could have came onto this little island here, and that's going to take him over that way, which kind of goes over by Eric. But it almost feels a little bit like I'm cutting Eric off. But he said he didn't see any deer come from in here. If that buck is in there, if he repeats himself, I mean, there's a good chance I could get an arrow at him, but it's going to be kind of hard. This tree is just whipping around, and the wind ain't supposed to die. And I'm literally shaking all over the place. And try shooting a bow while you're wobbling around like this. I don't know, but it's hard to miss at 10 yards. Hopefully it calms down a little bit. But between me and Eric, I mean, we're in a pretty good spot. Hopefully something happens.
Go down. Go down. Go down. Oh, crap. Crap, crap, crap. He's running a long way. I think I might have hit him in the shoulder. Son of a gun. I can still see him. Crap, he's running a long ways. He's headed for the hills now. Go down. Oh, I just lost sight of him. Crap. Crap, crap, crap. He could tell something was up. He was coming in really, really slow. And I took the first shot opportunity that he presented. He was kind of quartered to me. And I should have maybe waited 2 more seconds. Let him just walk forward a bit, but he was right on the fringe and catching my scent. I don't know if I got the shot on film or the buck on film. I just think this damn leaf was in the way. Oh, it all happened too fast to even get too nervous. I know I hit him. I watched the arrow hit him. I just hope I put a decent shot on him. I think I stuck him in the shoulder though. It didn't sound like air in the lungs. I'm gonna text Dan right now and see what he says. So it's been about 20 minutes since it hit. And I'm just sitting in the tree waiting for Dan to finish his hunt. I'm a little bit concerned, obviously. I don't know. Got Dan calling me. Hey. Probably 300, and then I lost him, but I saw exactly where I lost him. I think I know where he's held up, if he made it that far. Yeah, I think I hit him in the shoulder. The sound of impact wasn't, it wasn't lungs. It didn't sound like. It was more of like a little thud. It wasn't a crack or anything, but it wasn't a clean double lunger, if you know what I mean. I think I hit him in the front shoulder. But like I said, I didn't hear a crack or anything, so. Right. I don't think I was that far back. I honestly don't. I think if anything, I was forward. He was kind of quartered too, but he was just about to hit my wind scent, and I had to get a shot off or nothing because I know he was going to bust me. He actually looked like he was going to turn around and just take off or something. He could just tell something was up. He kind of looked at me a couple times, but all of a sudden he turned his head away from me, and that's when I was able to draw. And his head was still looking away from me, and I just lined it up, and probably 25 yards would be my guess. I put it right behind the 20 and 30 pin and just let it go. But I think I was forward, if anything. I don't think I was back. And then I looked at my footage, and it looks like there's a leaf right in the screen, of course. So I think he's still on film running. I think he'll be able to catch him running, but I don't think the point of impact, I don't think that's on film. So that kind of sucks because then I'll be able to watch where that arrow hit, but so just to remind you, I don't do great with seeing blood, so I'm going to go in there and try. I'm going to wait till you're done hunting, but well, just stick it out, dude. You never know. You've done it before where you get out in the last 5 minutes and all of a sudden something comes up, right? Just stick it out.
Well, I'm out of the tree and packed up. I'm gonna go meet Eric. It sounds like he shot one. I didn't see nothing. So what happened?
So I had a buck work in within the last, 20 minutes or so, coming from the west, and he worked his way into me. I was set up on this tree on the very end of the point here, that very last tree. I was set up just in a little hole there.
What is that, 30 yards?
Yeah, 25, 30. Yep, probably 30.
Yeah.
I came in straight on like so, and you can kind of feel the wind.
Yeah.
Kind of coming like this. And he started to turn a little bit, kind of stopped. He was kind of looking around. He looked over my way a few times. It just seemed like he was just a little bit on edge.
He's catching a little bit of breeze.
That's what it seemed like. So I knew I had to take a shot soon. And he ended up turning his head, and when he turned his head, it looked like he opened up his broadside a little more.
Yeah.
So I let the arrow go. I may have just barely touched the top of these cattails, but not really because, I was up there pretty good. But it seemed like I probably hit forward on the shoulder. It wasn't...
Could you see the arrow flight with your luminog?
Yes, but
so it looked like you're forward a little bit?
It looked like I was forward, like the shoulder.
Okay. So you didn't see the arrow sticking out when he ran off or anything?
No, not with all this, long grass and everything.
How far did he go?
I would estimate 300 yards before I lost him.
Do you think he held up over there? Or do you think he kept going?
I think so. I don't think he would have barreled off into the sandhills, into no man's land.
300 yards is a long ways.
Yeah, it is. It is. I don't feel good about it.
Well, let's see if we got a blood trail. And if you do, maybe we'll see how good it is and see what kind of blood it is. But if he was slightly quartering to you, it's possible you punched in the liver. It depends on if the shoulder stopped your arrow or...
It didn't. There was no crack to it. It was just a deadening, but no crack.
Okay.
But it didn't sound like lungs. You know when you hit lungs and you can hear the air almost expel?
Yeah, let's see what the
like
blood looks like and go from there.
But I know I hit him. I'm for sure I hit him. So, maybe it was in front of the shoulder into the brisket. I'm not sure. You know how these things happen. It happens pretty fast. And I don't even think I got it on film. I think there was one leaf in front of the lens, of course.
Of course.
So,
Yeah, I jumped something coming out. Just as soon as I packed up the stand, I took about 5 steps. It was coming my way from you. So I don't know how it came, if it came through these cattails or what, but it crashed off through the sandhills. Or in that direction anyways.
Was it closing time anyway? The time
Yeah.
to get home?
Yeah, he wouldn't have made it to me.
Yeah, I don't really feel great about it, but you know, Shane Simpson's here. He's one of, you know, probably one of the better trackers in the country.
If we got any kind of liver blood or anything, we'll get his dog or something down here, and well, let's see what we can find. There's the knock over there. Right there. See what the arrow looks like.
Busted right off.
Yeah, there's not a lot of penetration.
No, not at all.
Your blood's up to here. Your arrow's only probably about that long, right? So you got about a foot of penetration. About 12 inches. That's already, the blood's already pretty dried. Okay, so he definitely was right here. Man, that blood is already dried to the point where you can't hardly see it.
I think that wind kind of
Yeah.
something to do with it. So we have blood on the arrow. Let me pull one out so we can get an idea of how much penetration. Actually, quite a bit more than we think. Take a look at that.
So you probably got about a foot of arrow in him, at least. Blood's up to here, so you could have.
Yeah, where's that blood again?
It stops here.
Yep.
Eric's colorblind, that's why I don't know. But that's
I can actually see it. I couldn't see
that's
it
over a
without the light
foot.
on it.
That's over a foot of penetration, if that's where it went into, which it looks like it did.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't look like it trickled down because it's solid.
Yeah, you're shooting down too, so the blood ain't gonna pull up the arrow.
Right.
But it could, you know, go up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
It looks like you got a solid
But that's
12 inches.
That's much better penetration than.
Which makes sense because you said you didn't have a crack.
Right. I did not have a crack. I'm wondering if I got in front of the shoulder and maybe, because if I would have got behind the shoulder, I think it probably would have been a pass through or hit the back quarter, much as he was quartered. From what I saw, of course, all this stuff happens so fast, but maybe I ended up right in front of the shoulder.
Yeah.
Just in front of the shoulder and got into.
You could have went through a little bit of shoulder meat and into the lungs too.
Right, like maybe in between the front shoulder and the brisket, just right in that.
Yeah.
Crevice, you know.
We'll see what we find.
I mean, that's where I remember that arrow hitting, either in the shoulder or right in front. But yeah, like I said numerous times, I did not hear a loud crack like you do with a shoulder hit.
Well, we're over 2 miles back. I mean,
yeah, we gotta get back.
We should go over, talk to Shane, and
see what he says. And
yeah,
it could be a long night for moving, depending on what Shane says. But I'm up for it.
Alrighty.
I think he's over there dead.
That'd be nice.
Which side of the body did you hit him on? Right or left?
Right.
Right side. Whereabouts?
Probably just in front of the shoulder.
Oh, in front of the shoulder.
I don't think he knows that for a fact.
I didn't hear a crack at all whatsoever.
He told me he shot it in the shoulder blade, and then he said he must have been in front of it when it didn't crack.
If you shot right in the shoulder blade.
Where'd you find the arrow at?
Probably 25, 30 yards after where I shot.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you got that much penetration. You could have got that much. The blood just got on it, but
that's what I was thinking. But I'm thinking since I shot from a higher vertical position, that arrow should have stuck him downwards, right?
he's quartered two.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you shot him on. Oh, you didn't hit liver. Not with that little bit of penetration you hit. You got one lung maybe. But you think we're at on the?
It must have been here. I thought I hit shoulder is what it looked like, but I didn't hear it.
Like height wise.
Oh, I think it was perfect height wise. I think it was like right in the breadbasket height wise. If it was broadside, it would have been right double lung, you know.
Yeah, I don't smell. It smells like deer meat to me. It doesn't smell like anything bad. He said dark blood. I was like, oh.
It's just dried up.
Yeah, but
The wind dried it already.
There's definitely no egg.
There's no blood on the grass anywhere for about 40 yards.
Oh, okay. But you take a look at it.
yeah, that's not much in there. You may not even. You may have got that much into the chest cavity if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Another thing is too, there was nothing that deer was in open grass,
Yep.
no cats or anything, and that arrow snapped in half pretty quick. So I think it snapped from the shoulder blade cutting it.
Well,
Pivoting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking maybe if you're quartering 2 and you hit, you might have been off just slightly and got liver, you know, or something, or maybe.
It would not
but
have liver play back there.
And it wouldn't have broke off, I don't think.
Yeah, I think.
But I don't know for a fact that he knows he's in front of the shoulder though.
I don't know it for a fact.
Yeah.
I don't know it for a fact. He's got to keep out
Well,
for
he's
now,
still-
though. Yeah, right.
But he doesn't have a pass through, so he hit something solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it make a crack when it hit? No. It just when it took off, it broke.
It just was like a dot, like it just kind of hit. It was like a dead soft hit.
Yeah.
And that's what it sounds like when an arrow stops in meat.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if it slid between the front leg and the chest.
That's what I was wondering.
Then you're never gonna find him.
That's about exactly where.
Okay, well, not unless you hit an artery that goes in between there, but I don't know if it's gonna be right there. It's usually like in the.
He saw it run 300 yards.
Did you walk into
Wide
that?
open.
No.
Because
Did
it might
you see
have.
the injury side? Did you see the wound side when it's running?
No, I just saw it. His ass.
He wasn't favoring anything.
Tail up.
I couldn't tell. I think it was up. I'm gonna see if I can catch him.
Did you think it was a doe?
What's that? No, it wasn't a dog. No, that I can give you a definite answer.
Did you? Yeah, I mean.
No blood at all you found? But did you visually mark where you last saw it?
Yes, I know exactly. In daylight, yeah. Obviously.
It didn't run any closer to the truck, I think, either.
No.
Just really hoping I find this thing. I think everybody knows what it's like when you put a bad shot on a deer, and you know, it's just not easy to sleep at night. It just kind of gets to you. Yeah, saw that buck run a long ways, and we'll see if he's laying over there. I did kind of pinpoint exactly where I last saw him, so I'm going to go to that location. I'll try to catch a blood trail, you know, on the way out there. Hopefully I can catch something. If not, I'll just have to go to the last known location and take a look around. So there's got to be blood somewhere. There's blood on the arrow. I do have a hard time with red-green deficiency. I'm a little colorblind, so this makes it a little more challenging. But if I find any sign, you know, that he's dead in the area, I'm gonna get some other guys out and get some other eyes on it. So all these miles are really starting to wear on the legs a little bit, but I'm determined. I'm not gonna let it, you know, stop me.
There is a little patch of trees just beyond that sand hill. I'm thinking that's where he went to go lay up under cover. I couldn't see him jumping over, you know, going uphill, downhill over the sand hills with no cover out there. So I'm thinking that's where, if I'm gonna find him dead, I think he's right behind that sand hill, or he's up in that little patch of trees out there. So when he went around that corner of that sand hill, it seemed to me like he was actually slowing down. But I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, injured deer isn't going to run forever and ever and ever, whether it's going to survive or not. But I don't know. I honestly feel like I got a 50-50 chance here. But let's go see what we can find. Here is the sand hill that I saw him run behind. Here's the transition of cattails. And you can see two little islands here. This little island to the left, I was sitting right off of that point. Shot him, he came running all the way through here, right up to me. Crested around this sand hill, and then that's where I lost him, so. All right, I've been searching for quite a while now, and things are looking a little bleak. The small sand hill that I saw that buck get around was just past these bushes here. You can kind of make it out. And I checked all this willow brush over here. I checked these small patches. I checked around all of this willow brush up to about that tree. I'm still gonna check all this willow brush out this way. But beyond that, I think it's a dog's work. Otherwise, I'm not finding this thing. I mean, I'm 2.5 miles back here already. I got no blood trail to go off of, so I mean, how do you really track a deer without a blood trail? You know, unless you have a dog or a drone. It's just not looking good. I feel terrible. You know, these shots are always, you get a bad shot and it's always hindsight and you wish you could take it back, and you just obviously can't do that. Definitely feeling down in the dumps right now. I don't like wounding an animal, but I really thought that I was capable of making that shot without doubt. There was no doubt in my mind. Otherwise, you know, I wasn't trying to take it. But you know, at 25-30 yards, I put my pins, you know, my 20 and 30 kind of right down in his kill zone, and I don't know, when I let that arrow go, if I just pulled a little bit, that I ended up, you know, hitting in front of the shoulder. I'm not sure exactly what happened. It would be nice if I had it on film, but I just don't, because of one leaf. I know anybody that has ever bull hunted for some time in their life, bad shots are just made. It's just human nature, I guess. We're not machines, so might get some hate for it, but that's okay. I'll just come back out of this having learned something, and that's okay with me. But yeah, get on the search for a little longer. Man, am I far back here. But I have been searching and searching and searching for this buck, and I actually jumped him just past these trees out here, and he ran out that way. And I watched what he went into, and he went straight for a tree with thick cover. I'm not sure that he bedded down, but I did hear the crashing stop. So what I'm gonna do, you know, if he's injured, I could see him running only 150 yards or whatever if he's injured, and if he finds thick cover, I think he would lay down, but I could be completely wrong too. He may have just took off, and you know, I didn't hear the crashing anymore because of the wind or whatever, but I think I'm gonna just go check that spot. I'm gonna bring my bow over there and try to stalk in. If that's not successful, which 99.9% odds are against me, but if that's not successful, then I'm just gonna back out of here, because it doesn't pay to just keep chasing them around. I checked the bed where I jumped him for blood, and there was none at all, so he's not gonna bleed out or anything. But if I can put him out of his misery, because I'm sure he's in some pretty good pain, you know, I'd prefer to do that. So I think I just owe it to that deer to just push a little more and see what I can accomplish here. Snuck in there as quiet as I could, and he just wasn't in there, so I just let him be, and I just got out of there. I'm back at the truck finally now. And man, that was a lot of miles for a morning. I think I have, gosh, it's almost got to be 6 miles by the time I walked around all the bedding stuff trying to locate him. But at least I did locate him. I jumped him. He's gonna be okay.
But I'm not gonna let it get me in the dumps. I'm gonna keep pushing here. If anything, I wanna push even a little harder in a sense of like vengeance, or I don't know, just getting that shot back. But yeah, I'm just ready to keep pushing here, so I'm gonna go try to find something else and see what I can get into.